Hi guys, as Donald Trump and Elon Musk dismantle the US federal government, sack thousands of workers, cut support for the most vulnerable in society, there are some willing to stand up to what more and more people are calling fascism. Congresswoman AOC, a huge supporter of Bernie Sanders, joined him on the anti-oligarch campaign, traveling around the US to listen to the concerns of ordinary Americans, people who are afraid of what's coming next. Here she took a phrase Republicans have misused over the last number of years and started using it right. Common sense.
So let me share with you exactly what I mean. Because when they like to call us radical, and what they like to call me as radical, I believe is common sense. I believe that when a person gets sick, they shouldn't go bankrupt in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Common sense. I believe that a minimum wage should cover the minimum cost to live. Common sense. And by the way, we should see that not paying a living wage is also a form of corporate welfare and looting. Because big companies like Walmart and Amazon often rely on the food stamp program and public coffers to cover the wages that they won't pay. I believe that homes are not slot machines for investors and Wall Street to extort working families out of every last dollar that they have. A home is sacred. And when your landlord jacks up your rent by half overnight, or housing prices skyrocket because Wall Street treats our housing market like a casino, your government should fight for your ability to keep an affordable roof over your head. And finally, I believe our elected officials should take on abuses of corporate greed everywhere they find it. We must get big money out of politics and make clear that our country is not for sale. And that is why I don't and never will take money from lobbyists and corporations.
Wonderful. This is music to my ears. You know, why can't we have a politician like this in Europe? Why can't we have people like this standing up to dictators, standing up to oligarchs, standing up to fascists, calling it out and using a term that the Republicans constantly used when they wanted to harm the most vulnerable in society, common sense. Common sense that people should be able to earn a wage that covers the cost of living. Common sense that people don't go bankrupt in the US when they have a medical emergency or a bill that they have to pay. They shouldn't go bankrupt. It's common sense that they should be able to live in a certain amount of serenity. So it's wonderful that there are people standing up, but it only seems to be Bernie, AOC and a few others within the Democratic Party. These people should be in charge of that party. The oldies need to go. They need to be replaced by young people like AOC. People who have new ideas, people who can reach out to the crowd, people who have an understanding of what ordinary people are going through. This is what's necessary. An absolute sea change. Enthusiasm. The Democratic Party is even less popular than Donald Trump, I believe, at the moment. And Donald Trump is destroying everything around him. It needs change. The old guard need to leave. They need to be replaced by fresh blood. People who have an understanding of what the working people, working class people in the US go through. The struggles that they're going through. The problems they're facing. This is what the Democratic Party needs. And I think Americans would vote for that. They would vote for a policy that supports them when it comes to their medical bills. They would support a policy that puts pressure on companies who are abusing their privilege when it comes to their negotiations with their workers. Corporate welfare and the idea of taking money from lobbyists or taking money from businesses. This all has to go. And there are only a few politicians talking like this. More need to be talking like this. The Democratic Party, the old guard, have abandoned the field. They've abandoned the battle. They've given in to Donald Trump. So if they're not willing to fight, they should step aside and let somebody else have a go at it.